Hey everybody, let's talk about what the skies have in store for the upcoming week of February 26th through March 3rd. And here we are. This week, we're kind of in that what we consider the waning phase, right? That's when we're coming out of that full moon and moving into the new moon phase, right? This is the time frame when things are kind of draining out, I guess is the best way to say it. When you think of that full moon being like a glass of water, right? This is where we start to dump that water out, right? And so in this time frame, this is where we start to kind of heal from the things that have surfaced, that have been brought to light in the full moon. This past full moon that we had was the Virgo full moon. And it's a very analytical one, right? It can be very critical. It kind of looks through things with a fine-tooth comb and looks to see where the cracks are in things. And so this may have been a full moon that brought those cracks to light for you, right? Or maybe on its shadow side, maybe it made you overly critical of yourself and the way you talk or your decisions or your thoughts or your feelings. Maybe it was being overly critical of those ways that people are communicating with you, right? Because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so it's how we think and how we get it out of our mouth to other people and how we're heard. So maybe this is a situation where that full moon may have brought that to light, where it's like, maybe I'm being a little critical of the way other people choose to communicate their thoughts and their feelings to you, who knows? But whatever, the full moon brings things to light regardless, right? And this full moon was also about where the sun was at, right? Is in Pisces. So even though the sun is shining a light on those Virgo tendencies of perfectionism and hard work and the work that you do in your daily work and all those things that are coming to the surface, the actual spotlight itself is in Pisces. And Pisces is a very spiritual and feeling sign. So we have this combination, right, that happens with this full moon last week. And we're still in the phases of it where it was really bringing into focus mind, body, spirit connection. How are we connected? How are we taking care of our physical bodies, right? That's what that full moon had to say. And so here we go into this waning phase of it. And so this week, there isn't a lot of astrological events that are happening this week. So to me, I look at it like we're still healing and we're still releasing from what was brought to light under the power of that full moon on Saturday, the 24th. So here we go, right? What kind of things have come to mind? I like to say that change doesn't have to be huge, right? I think as long as we make a 1% change, we're moving in the direction of making that change. When we move our feet forward, the universe responds in kind. It's one of those things like, think of it like an algorithm, right? Like on TikTok or something, where it's like, it's basing what it brings you off of what you like and what you're telling it that you want, right? And that's how it's bringing it to you. The universe is like a ginormous TikTok, right? And so it's bringing to us what it is that we want and in what we're putting out, right? What we're liking. And if we're liking a little tiny bit of change, and we're putting that effort in, we're showing the universe, hey, I'm ready for some change in my life. And it's going to bring things that are going to change your life, right? It's all about energy out there in this world and how much we believe that we deserve it. And so this week, that's kind of the energy that we're feeling, right? That's the things that we're seeing. What is it that I want to shift and change? Because that's the undercurrent of the year anyway, with Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's about transformation, Pluto, in dramatic change, transformation and change is the Aquarius. And so this week we have Mars, the planet of action and movement, making things happen, giving us the courage to make things happen. It is an Aquarius. It's been in Aquarius for about, I think it's like a week and a half now. Whatever, regardless, as it's going through Aquarius, it's giving us that push to make the change, right? It's not just about knowing what changes need to be made. Knowing what needs to happen is Mercury, right? That's the conscious mind. But doing is something completely different, even if it's 1% different. And so Mars gives us that courage to make that jump, to move our feet forward, to put ourselves out there, That's what Mars does. It wants the change when it's in Aquarius. And so this week it squares up with Jupiter. And Jupiter out there in the sky is that planet of luck and opportunity, and it magnifies things. And it can have a tendency to do that, especially when it makes a hard aspect like a square or an opposition. And so we look kind of more to the shadow side of Jupiter, and Jupiter can blow stuff up. It can blow stuff up out of proportion. But even that's the great thing with planets like Venus and Jupiter, they're beneficial planets. So even when there are tough aspects to it, maybe it brings things to light that are a little bit difficult. Maybe it's something that you don't necessarily want to hear. Ultimately, it's a blessing under it. So when you have that push for change and this lucky planet Jupiter that comes through, and it may kind of force it upon you, this is a week where it's saying, I think really what it's saying is, where have you limited yourself? Is it your thought process that you're limiting yourself in? Is it, staying stuck in a situation that doesn't fit, right? Maybe this is a thing where, Jupiter likes to expand us beyond our bounds, and that can be very uncomfortable. We like our comfort zones, right? We're humans. We like comfort zones. And so Jupiter goes, well, that's not going to get you the change that you want if you stay in the same thing, right? And maybe you're settling for less than you deserve, right? Because you've learned how to maintain at that, whether that's financially, relationship-wise, work-wise, you're settling for something that doesn't make you happy, or it's falling apart. Maybe that's another thing too. Pluto transforms things, right? And it's trying to fit you into this new Aquarian mold of what's fitting for you. And maybe these jobs, financial situations, what have you, they worked before. Now Pluto's transforming that where they don't, because you want to move forward, right? And so this is a week where we have this Mars that's wanting us to push, and Jupiter that's coming through, and it's saying, get out of those comfort zones. It is that push that's needed to get away from those, I guess, the ruts that we put ourselves into as well too, those repetitive cycles. And it's telling us the winds of progress and change are blowing around us, and we have to have that warrior spirit in us to act when we need to, when we feel that fire come up inside of us. And that's exactly what Mars does. And it's blasting away, right? That's the thing with Mars. It blows things out with its fiery rays. It blows it out, right? And it's blowing out those old dated beliefs that you need to settle, right? Because you don't need to. Now, the only other thing this week, and really this isn't an astrological thing, but it's just a cool thing, right? Because it's so rare, and it's the leap day on the 29th. We don't have this, right? That's an every 4-year thing. So for me, I like to observe these rare events that happen. I think that even though it's not an astrological thing, right? That day we have Mercury, the planet of the mind, in dreamy Pisces. And as it's in Pisces, it's making that beautiful connection with that lucky planet Jupiter that wants to expand us and grow us. To me, I put them together and I look at it like, let's dream big. Let's dream bigger for what it is that we do want. And Jupiter gives us those lucky breaks. When we put ourselves into a state of faith where we believe that we deserve it and we can have it, Jupiter rewards that faith with giving us these lucky breaks, right? Mercury in Pisces helps us dream it up to begin with. And so I'm looking at it like kind of a cool thing here, right? That a leap year is kind of like a once in a blue moon type of energy anyway, right? Because it doesn't happen all the time, and neither do blue moons. Blue moons are where we have 2 full moons in the course of a month. We haven't had one since August 31st of last year, and I asked my good friend Alexa over there, she's probably gonna, no, she didn't even light up. Haha. I asked her actually when I was writing this stuff out, when do we have another one? It's not until 2026. So when we have these blue moon energies, we have a little bit of a more magical window, I guess you could call it, to manifest things that it is we want, or to get the insights that we're looking for. So I feel like it is a chance for us to see what it is that we want and really daydream big on that day. And think about your subconscious dreams when you're sleeping as well too. We have so much energy in Pisces right now, and that's where we're getting that insight and direction through our subconscious and a lot of times in our dreams. So they may be magnified, right? Thanks to Jupiter on the 29th. So that's pretty much it for this week, y'all. Just keep with it. Know that the energies are moving and that good things are coming, right? Absolutely. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.